What's up, my fellow troubadours? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to address a question that I get asked often, and it's about my thoughts on booking agencies, booking agents, how to kind of get booked from like an outside source other than yourself. How I go about doing that. What is my experience with that, my opinion on that. I get all different flavors of questions regarding that. So I thought I'd make a video talking about some of the pros and cons of booking agents. What we refer to as booking agents. So I'm going to take a loose interpretation of that, and I'll explain what I mean when I say booking agent. If you find value from this YouTube channel, please consider liking and subscribing. If you want to support the channel, I have links to my Patreon. You could buy me a coffee. And if you want to do an online consultation or lessons or anything like that, hit me up with an email. I take private bookings. We can work on whatever aspect of your game you want to work on. It could be vocals, it could be repertoire, it could be your instrument, it could be just any questions you want to ask me, you can. So be sure to send me an email if you are interested in that. Now, depending on where you are and what kind of gigs you're after, this could be, the answer here could vary. Like, for example, here in New York City, where I play, it's mostly bars, restaurants, and private events, corporate events, weddings, parties. Booking agents aren't really a necessity, right? But they can kind of still play a role in the big picture. And again, when I say booking agencies, I don't mean like some big online website where they have worldwide clients and corporate things. That's not what I mean. I mean a much more grassroots approach to what a booking agent is. Those big online agencies like that, generally speaking, for a solo acoustic act, I don't think that that's going to be something that's worth your time to even look into. So what do booking agents do? Let's dispel the mystery. Well, a booking agent is anyone who connects you with a client or a gig that you wouldn't have landed on your own, right? And they also handle some of the client communications and logistics, basically taking the weight off your shoulders, and they're like the middleman. They're dealing with the client. Sounds good in a perfect world, I'd imagine. Just, this agency or this person's going to get me gigs. They're going to deal with the client. I just show up, I roll in, and I do my thing, and that's that. Well, a lot can go wrong in that. In theory, they have the connections, right? Maybe even exclusive connections with venues and places that you can only get in through a booking agent. The casino here in Queens is like that. They have certain entertainment agencies they work with, and that's who gets them their clients. So if you want to book with them, you got to go through one of those avenues. If you have a relationship with one of them, great. If you don't, you're shit out of luck. I used to work at that casino all the time for years. The booking agent that I worked with no longer works there, and I haven't been able to get back in with a casino where I actually know people that go there, but doesn't matter. They deal with a booking agent. I'd have to establish relationships with those other booking agents if I want to get into that gig. If I wanted that gig bad enough, that's what I'd have to do. So some booking agents have exclusive connections with places, and if you want to work in those places, you got to go through those channels, find out who the booking agents are. But here's the thing. A booking agent, in general, they're going to take 10 to 20% of whatever you would get paid to get you the gig, right? So it does cut into your bottom line. I have one booking agent I personally work with now, and it's not like some big company. It's a guy and his wife, and they have a booking agency. They have a bunch of acoustic artists and some bands, and they get gigs at certain restaurants and even some of the nursing homes and stuff like that where they have the relationship. And he charges a flat rate per gig. And roughly it equates to, I would say, about 20%. Now, I have a good relationship with this guy. He knows what my product is. So he knows what type of venues I'd be willing to work, what venues I won't work. He knows what my bottom line is in terms of what I need to get paid before he even gets me a gig, right? So if he gets a gig for me, I pretty much know what I'm going to get paid, and I know that it's a place that he's delivering me to a place that That's what they're looking for. He knows my product. He's not going to put me in some place where I don't belong, okay? So it's important when you have a booking agent that they know what your strengths are and they really understand your product, that they have a sense of what you are and what their client needs. This way, it's a good match. If it's not a good match, it's bad for everybody, okay? So, look, the pros are the agents have relationships that can open doors to gigs that you wouldn't get otherwise. It saves you time. They handle the back and forth with the clients, leaving you free to just go in and focus on the music. They'll even hunt down your pay for you, make sure you get paid. They can even sometimes negotiate a higher price than you might get on your own. Why? Because they're the middleman. It's like if I go to the doctor doesn't take the payment. You know, the person at the front desk handles the payment, right? So when you're a musician going out yourself and you're the one dealing with the payment with the client, you know, for you to bargain and you to be a businessman about it and try to sell a higher price, it's kind of doesn't come across right. But if you have a booking agent, they can do that for you, right? So that's one of the good things. They can do that whole good cop, bad cop kind of thing, right? Also, they're providing you, hopefully, with a steady flow of gigs, right? Even if they're not providing you with constant gigs, like you know, they're not getting you a gig a week, but if they can get you a constant, maybe 1 gig a month that you wouldn't get on your own, that kind of just adds more bookings into your schedule, right? That you didn't have to get them on your own. So you have someone actively looking for gigs. Fewer dry spells in the calendar, and that's a good thing when it works. Another piece of advice is you want to have a good reel, a video reel of samples of you playing live at venues, right? Videos of you doing what you do. I'm going to put a link in the description where I talk about what I think is the best camera for solo acoustic musicians. It's called the DJI Osmo. I have a link in the description to a video I did on it, and I have an affiliate link to the product itself for you to just check out. I'm going to be doing more videos about the process of videoing yourself so that you can put together video reels for the internet and for clients and for agents. This will help you get more work, okay? So check out that link in the description after you watch this video. Now, the cons of using a booking agent. Okay, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as they say, right? Some of the cons, like I said, the cost. You're paying commissions. So if the only way you're getting your gigs is through a booking agent, well, you know, you're really kind of like, you're kind of in bed with them, so to speak. You're paying them constantly, and if they dry up, if that relationship with them dries up, and they're the only form of income you have, you're shit out of luck, right? So you have less control. You're not always in the driver's seat when it comes to the type of gigs you get. You might have to be more flexible. You know, if that guy's getting you a gig that wouldn't be your ideal gig, but they're getting you 30, 40 gigs a year, you might have to take a few on the chin and step up and help them out when they're in a pinch and take a gig that might not be the gig you really, really want to take. But you got to like kind of hook them up a little bit, right? You owe them one, so to speak. The other thing to be careful of is any kind of exclusivity clauses. Some agents, they want you to sign an exclusive deal. If they want that, stay away. That to me is predatory. You know, they basically saying that you can't book anything on your own. Any booking you do for whatever the term limit is has to be done through them. Do not do it. You should always retain the ability to book your own gigs. Okay? But do it with class. Like if an agent gets you a client, don't go behind the agent's back and book that client directly. That's bad business. If an agent gets you a client, always go through that same agent when you book with that client. Unless for some reason the client and the agency have some sort of falling out that has nothing to do with you, then maybe you can do it. But even then, if you're still working with that agent, you got to kind of have allegiance to that agent. So what do I do, right? How do I get bookings with agents? I have the one agent that I just been talking about. But one of the key things to have is relationships with event planners. So they're not agents per se, But, okay, agent's just a word. Who cares? They can get you gigs. They're party planners. They're event coordinators. They can be worth their weight in gold. And usually they're not taking a commission from you. They're working out their deals. They have a client. The client says to them, hey, I'm having a cocktail party. I want an acoustic guitar player. They say, oh, Frank, Frank's my guy. He's who I use for my acoustic guitar. They call you up. They ask you what your rate is. And if the client is okay with it, you're good to go, right? They're not trying to necessarily get a commission because they just want their client to be happy. And they don't want to have to deal with going out there and finding talent on their own. They want to do less work, right? A party planner or an event planner's got a lot on their plate. They're working with the chef. They're working with the venue. They're working with the flower arrangement. They're working with all sorts of things. So if they have a good relationship with you, they will hold on to that relationship very, very tightly. It is really a win-win. So when you go out and play an event, right? Let's say you get a booking on your own. You go out and you play an event. Find out who the event planner is if there is one, okay? Let's say the client booked your music directly with you. They probably still have a party planner, right? It's possible that they do. If that party planner is there, give them a card, introduce yourself, let them hear what it is you do, and keep that relationship. Send them, a Christmas message, send them an email, put them in your email newsletter. Let them constantly remind them that you exist. Another thing is to have good relationships with DJs, wedding DJs, party DJs. A lot of the times, like a DJ will get a call and the client wants some live music to go along with the DJ. Or if it's a wedding, they might want live music for the cocktail hour, right? And then the DJ does the rest of the event. And these DJs may also play country club, Christmas party, all kinds of stuff like that. And sometimes these venues will contact that DJ and say, hey, do you know anybody that can do X, Y, and Z? Well, if you have good relationships with the DJ, those DJs will often work as, air quote, booking agents. I have a couple DJs, but one in particular, he gets me country club gigs, he gets me all kind of gigs. They're his clients. They hire him for all sorts of other events. They contact him. He subcontracts the work to me. I'm going out there. I'm under his insurance. He deals with the customer. He knows the customer. And he knows me. So it's a perfect match. He doesn't have to worry about it. And he gets paid. And I get paid, right? So if you are playing a wedding or an event and there's a DJ there, definitely make a connection with that DJ. Introduce yourself to them. And hopefully they get to hear what you do. And let them know that you're available should they ever get asked for an acoustic musician, that they can contact you and you'll give them a piece of the action. Make it worth their while. Okay? Again, though, the key is to find people who understand your product and where it fits. Okay? Sometimes DJs, they're a little bit, they don't quite understand what a live musician does. So you just got to make sure the relationship is a good relationship and they know you and they know what you do. I'll give you an example of how DJ not knowing your product or not having sensibility could sometimes wind up being a very bad thing. I'll make the story quick. I was booked a DJ that I don't really know too well. He found out about me through the grapevine. He books me to play a wedding after party, which was supposed to happen when the whole wedding was done at 11 o'clock at night. It was in a big venue, a big hall, big fancy wedding with the blown out DJ, all the bells and whistles. They were going to go down to the beach, which was right in the back of the venue, and have a bonfire and have an acoustic guitarist. Wonderful. Really cool idea. Well, what happened was when the day of the wedding, it was in September, it was an unseasonably cold day and it was rainy. It was a miserable day. I contacted the DJ. I said, listen, I don't know that, how is this going to happen? Do you want to cancel this? I'm letting you off the hook if you want to cancel this because I don't think it's going to make sense. He said, no. I told the client we can still do it. We'll just have you play right in the same venue. Like as soon as I'm done as the DJ, you're going to get up and you're going to play your acoustic guitar. And I'm saying to myself, does this guy have any sensibilities? You can't take a solo acoustic guitar player and put them in right after the DJ kind of crescendos all the energy to the big finale of the wedding, and then you just stand an acoustic guitar player up there. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, if we were moving outside to the beach with a bonfire, different. You're totally switching everything up. Now I can set a different vibe, and it'll bring the vibe down to an appropriate level. But you can't just throw me out there in the middle of it all. Well, I went against my better judgment, and I trusted the DJ's judgment. And sure enough, I walk in there, and they're rip-roaring. You know, the groom is running across the floor, sliding across the floor. There's the father-in-law is playing drums. It's insane. And next thing you know, here I am standing there with this solo acoustic guitar singing Jason Mraz tunes. And the groom went up to the DJ, and I saw his lips. He said, "Get this fucking guy out of here," meaning me. And had I not been experienced as I was already at that point, it would have broke my heart to hear that. But I gotta admit, I kind of agreed with him. It wasn't the place for it. But this DJ, his sensibilities were not on. He was looking at booking me and getting the extra money, I believe. And in doing so, it kind of painted me in a bad light. Right? It also, I think, painted him in a bad light too, but that's beside the point. So again, make sure that whoever's booking you has a real good understanding of their client, of the situation, and of what you do, and is it appropriate for that situation. Use booking agents strategically. Don't rely on them for your entire gig schedule. Don't sit around thinking, well, I'm not going to get any gigs because I'm going to try to just get a booking agent, and that's going to do all the work for me. Nobody's going to do all the work for you. You know, you might have some agents that get you some work. You have to kind of steer that ship yourself. So don't give up all your power thinking that something will happen when you get a booking agent, okay? Just proceed on all fronts. All the ones that I just laid out, proceed on all of them. The first and foremost is you getting gigs on your own and building a client base on your own, of venues, of people who hire you for parties, etc. Then you build your connections with DJs and party planners, booking agents, etc. Don't sign exclusive deals. You want that freedom to always be able to do what you want. One last note about getting gigs and booking agents is the online, like Gig Salad, Gig Masters, sites like that kind of function sort of as a quasi booking agent in that they bring you leads. Okay? You book the gig on your own, but they're bringing you leads that you might not ordinarily get. So sites like Thumbtack, Gig Masters, which I believe now is called The Bash, and Gig Salad, right? A lot of the relationships that I built happened many years ago on sites like this, where I established relationships with venue owners, with event planners, wedding planners, and now they don't even go to that website anymore. If they need an acoustic player, they just call me directly, right? Again, business relationships. People go to who they know. If I have a toothache and I don't have a dentist, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to open up the yellow pages and look for a dentist. I'm going to call somebody I know. Hey, who's your dentist? I got a toothache, right? I have a leaky pipe in my bathroom. I don't have a plumber. What am I going to do? I'm going to call a friend up. Do you have a plumber you could recommend to me? Same idea. Think of a booking agent that way, okay? Change your mindset of what a booking agent is, and you can find that you get a network of other people functioning like an agent to bring more work your way. I hope that this video helps you out, provides you some value. I hope you'll like and subscribe. If you want to support this channel, again, you can leave me a super thanks. You can buy me a coffee. Hit me up via email if you have any questions or you want to book an online lesson or consultation. I am here to help. I am Frank Persico. You already knew that. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.